Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another episode of my annual beauty favorites. So these are all of the absolute best of the best of the best products for the entire year of 2019. What totally rocked my jogs, what was totally awesome, and what I absolutely 100% recommend to you. So in today's video, we are going to be doing the best primers of 2019. I've got oily textured skin. I really have a hard time getting makeup to stay on my skin all day long. These primers, in my opinion, have just been absolute game changers for me. They've really lasted all day long. They've helped smooth the texture. They've helped control oil and shine, and they're just, I just absolutely love them. So if you are interested in learning about the best primers of 2019, then please stick around. Also, if you are new here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and let's jump straight into the video. Now, I have got a mixture of both high-end and also drugstore primers in today's video. I've got 3 drugstore and 4 high-end, so it's a pretty good balance. Now, the first one that I'm going to be talking about, honestly, it's been in my favorites. I don't know how many years in a row. And like in my yearly favorites, I don't know how many years in a row. You guys are not going to be in any way surprised. The Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer is still, in my opinion, the absolute be-all end-all of primers. It is so freaking good. So this one really has a super, super lightweight consistency. I will quickly sort of show you. And it is actually very, very white in color. So do make sure when you are blending it onto the skin that you blend it all out properly. Otherwise, it'll sort of like leave like a little bit of a white cast on the skin. Usually, foundation goes over the top, you sort of won't be able to notice. But it is something to bear in mind. Now, this one leaves the most like magical smooth sort of a surface on the skin. It kind of nearly has the feel that a lot of pore minimizing primers do, but without being so heavy and without being like a putty and without being slippery slidey during the day. It just absolutely it preps the surface so well. It smooths out texture, it smooths out imperfections, smooths out fine lines. It really lasts beautifully underneath foundation. I've worn it under liquid foundations, under powder foundations, under cream foundations. It goes beautifully under absolutely everything, and it really helps the makeup actually last all day long. I don't find that my makeup settles or creases a lot of the time when I use this. It really controls shine during the day, and it stops those oils coming through and just going absolutely crazy. This is honestly one of the best primers you will ever try in your life. I promise you, and I know Hourglass is quite pricey. I totally get that. They do come in like tiny little mini sample bottles. I would recommend grabbing a sample first, trying that first, seeing how your skin agrees with it. But yeah, year after year after year, I cannot stop using this. It is such a good primer. All right, next up we have a newie. Now this one did come out, I think in December at the end of last year. So it is a brand new edition, the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Primer. This is another primer, in my opinion, that you just absolutely can't go by. Now, this is not one that's necessarily going to control oil and control shine during the day, but it just hydrates and plumps the skin so well, and it smooths the surface so well before foundation. It honestly transforms your skin. Now, obviously, the Ole Henriksen, they've got like a vitamin C range. This primer is part of that vitamin C range, so it's also infused with skincare ingredients. So, while you're wearing it during the day, while it's underneath your foundation, it is going to be working on the skin, brightening the skin, doing all of those amazing things that vitamin C does do. It smells absolutely amazing. It's got like this amazing citrus scent to it. I absolutely love it. This is the consistency of this one. It's quite a bit thicker actually than the Hourglass one that I mentioned earlier. And this one's also got little banana, light reflecting pigments, kind of like it's basically modeled around banana powder. So when worn on the skin, obviously I've got heaps on here, but when worn on the skin, it actually helps to correct the light. It helps to correct dark circles, dark areas or areas of discoloration on the skin, and it just smooths out to the most beautiful lightweight feel. It's absolutely beautiful. It leaves really soft glow on the skin, but without feeling heavy or feeling like you're wearing a liquid illuminator kind of a thing. With my oily skin, it works absolutely perfectly underneath my foundations. I don't really have any issues necessarily. It doesn't make me oilier than, say, if I wasn't wearing a primer, but it's definitely not one that I would turn to for hardcore oil control. This is really great to soften the skin, to extend the wear of makeup, to smooth fine lines and pores. And also it's got those added skincare ingredients, which is really awesome as well. I've been through maybe 3. This is my 3rd tube of it this year. Kind of embarrassing, but I love it that much. All right, next up I've got the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. Now, this was in my yearly favorites last year as well, and actually this year in 2019, I finally tried the e.l.f. dupe for this. I really, really do like the e.l.f. dupe. I do think that it really makes your makeup last a long time. It really adheres foundation to the skin, smooths everything out, works amazing. But the Tatcha one also contains really, really good ingredients for the skin. So this one, I mean, based on that alone, usually beats the e.l.f. one out every single time. Now, this is a different kind of a primer. It's got a very different consistency. It's got like a balm, sort of like a texture to it. You scoop it out. Let me see if I can get some. So you scoop it out and it doesn't look like it'll actually go far. You're sort of like, oh, that's a bit bizarre, but it truly goes a really, really long way on the skin. It smooths out and it gives the skin the most beautiful silk finish, blurs fine lines, blurs enlarged pores, blurs imperfections, like wrinkles, absolutely everything. It will blur everything out, and it creates a beautiful, soft, almost slightly tacky base on the skin, but without feeling, again, like heavy, like your face is sticky, like you feel sweaty, like, you know, that awful, like, oh my gosh, my skin can't breathe feeling. Doesn't give that feeling on the skin at all, but it definitely creates like a tacky kind of a surface for your foundation to grip onto. It's amazing for oily skin. Like, I find that when I wear this, you know, it definitely reduces the shine and the oil coming through during the day. Definitely stops foundations breaking up and separating and caking, and it definitely makes your foundation last longer. I absolutely, truly do love this one. This is another one that is quite pricey, so definitely something to bear in mind. But, you know, it's infused with such amazing ingredients. You know, Tatcha just makes absolutely top-notch products. It makes them really, really worth the investment. Yeah, I really, really, really do like this one, truly. And then finally, for the high-end ones, this is actually more of a new-ish addition, which is quite interesting. The Beautyblender, the Leveler Primer. I cannot believe how good this is, and I'm sort of like a bit ashamed because I've had this sitting in my drawer, would we say 6 months? About 6 months. I only started testing it and really wearing it about 2 months ago now. Oh, so I would have had it even longer, probably 8 months in my drawer. This is absolutely amazing. Now, this is a really, really good pore minimizing primer that, again, and you guys know me, I don't really like the traditional pore minimizing kinds of primers. They cause foundation just to pretty much like slip off your face. You bump your nose on something and all your foundation's gone. It happens every single time you wear one of those traditional putty, silicone heavy pore minimizing primers. This primer does all of the things that I love in a pore minimizing primer, but without causing my makeup to not last as long. It's truly amazing. Now, packaging of this one, I actually quite like. It's very, very simple, very lightweight, easy to store, easy to travel with, but I can imagine this is going to be difficult sort of when it's running out. It's going to be quite tricky to get everything out of the bottle. Like, I'm going to probably have to cut it open, which is, you know, not ideal. But the consistency of this one looks like this, and it's funny because you sort of think, oh, that's quite moussey, it looks quite thick. I can't imagine that being super, super lightweight on the skin, but it really is so, so lightweight on the skin. It kind of like transforms as you blend it in, and you'll probably be able to see in front of, you know, your eyes here on camera just how much it does smooth out the texture on the back of my hand. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's absolutely insane. And it does all of that without feeling heavy, without feeling super slippery on the skin. It kind of feels like a very lightweight lotion. It's absolutely beautiful, stops my makeup from transferring, stops my makeup from creasing, really helps to control shine throughout the day, and it flattens everything out and makes everything so smooth for foundation to go on top of. I talk a lot about my textured skin, you know, it's part of being a human. Like, we have pores. Hello, your skin's an organ. You need pores to live, basically. But unfortunately for me, on my face, and I do have like a lot of acne scarring from when I was younger as well, I do have quite enlarged pores. So it's always really exciting for me when I find pore minimizing primers that actually work, but then that don't melt off as my oils come through during the day. And like, now that it's dried down, it just feels like this beautiful, smooth, powdery finish. Like, it feels like I've powdered the back of my hand. I absolutely love this primer. I am so, like, I should have tested it earlier. Clearly there's something wrong with me. Yeah, really, really, really recommend. If you've got oily textured skin, I think you will absolutely adore these. All right, so we are moving into the drugstore products now, the more affordable products. And I kind of need to include these two in the same one because they're essentially the same product but slight variances of the same thing. So these are the CoverGirl True Blend Base Business Primers, okay? I've got two versions of it here, the pore minimizing version and the skin smoothing version. The description on the back of both is very much the same. Both say that they smooth skin and blur pores. The pore minimizing one says that it visibly minimizes pores, which is definitely true, but they both extend the wear of makeup. They both feel completely weightless on the skin. CoverGirl has just done such an incredible job of these, and I would probably actually go to say these two would be my most used primers for the year of 2019. Like every time I traveled, I packed these. Most of the times when I did my makeup, I used these. Like they're just so good. And what I really love about these ones is they've got such a lightweight lotion feel. And this is what I really like in a primer. Like I don't want to put a primer on my face and then be like, okay, I can feel that on my skin, obviously without touching the skin. I can feel that on my skin, like it feels heavy, my skin doesn't feel fresh and clean anymore. I hate primers that are like that, and I do not find it with these ones at all. They're such a smooth, like see the consistency of it? It's like a lightweight moisturizer. There's such a beautiful lightweight texture. They're so lightweight and breathable on the skin. But then as you blend it into the skin, it dries down, starts to get a little bit tacky, but then as it continues to dry down, it gives the most beautiful velvety, powdery finish on the skin. Kind of a very similar to what the Beautyblender one gives, but maybe not quite dried down as much. Very similar though. And it's just like, you truly cannot feel that you're wearing it. And it does all the things that I want a primer to do. It absolutely extends the wear of my makeup. It stops creasing, it stops caking, it stops separating, helps control oil, helps to control shine, helps extend the wear of my makeup, helps to smooth the surface. Like it does everything that I want a primer to do, but without being like heavy basically on the skin. For me, 2019 was really the year of not wanting to be able to feel things on my skin. Like, you know, super heavy, full coverage foundations, I'm just not into anymore. I'm not into like heavy skincare. I just want to be able to breathe. I want to feel clean and fresh all the time. Like that's what we all want when we have oily skin. You just don't want to feel like weighed down. Both of these honestly achieve that, and they achieve everything else. I absolutely love them. And then finally, I have this one here from e.l.f. Now it is quite tricky when you look at all of your products to actually only choose a very sort of small selection. And this is the one that came out on top. Now I did mention the e.l.f. Putty Primer earlier in the video. It's a total dupe to the Tatcha one, but obviously doesn't have the same skincare ingredients. When sort of choosing and looking between them all, and like truly this one here was more used and more loved by me than the Tatcha dupe. Now this is the e.l.f. Blurring Primer Serum. Firstly, the packaging is so luxe. Like you would never think in a million years that this was such an affordable like drugstore product. Like it's super affordable. But this is another primer that has such an amazing lightweight consistency on the skin. It just feels like there's absolutely nothing there. It's sort of quite liquidy, which I quite like these days in a primer. So that's sort of like what it looks like. Very lightweight. It's very much what the name suggests. It is a serum primer, and sort of as you rub it into the skin, it kind of like disappears. But then again, like these other primers, it eventually like it mattifies, it sort of starts to set, and it turns into this like beautiful velvety powdery kind of a consistency. And it's just amazing under makeup. Like it blurs the skin, it definitely helps fill in pores and texture. It really grips onto foundation, stops foundation wearing off, stops it transferring off, stops it sweating off, stops the oils. It doesn't stop the oils entirely, definitely not, but it absolutely helps to control them, and it really extends the wear of your makeup. Like I'm honestly so shocked that this is a drugstore primer. It truly shouldn't be. It's got such a nice formula. I really do recommend it. I think it's about maybe $8. If you're somebody that just, like all of these, if you just want a lightweight product on the skin that just lets your skin breathe but still does exactly what a primer is meant to do, I think you will really like this one. So there you go, guys. Those were all of my absolute most used, most loved, best of the best primers of 2019. There are obviously a whole heap of other primers that I would have liked to include, but there's no point in doing a video like this with 30 different products. That doesn't help you out at all. That doesn't help you make a decision. So yeah, those were the absolute best of the best. Now, if you've got any questions about any of the products that you saw, any of these primers you want to know, I don't know, for your skin type or for whatever you're experiencing, be sure to pop them in the comments comments down below. I'll be hanging out down there answering all of your questions. And also let me know, like, are any of these your favorites? Have you tried them? Did you love them? Did you hate them? What your skin type is? Just tell me everything. Tell me what you had for lunch. Tell me everything in the comments down below. But that is pretty much it from me. I'm trying not to make these videos too long. So I'm going to go now. I'm going to stop talking, which is hard for me because I never shut up. But I'm going to. So I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I love you all, and I will catch you guys in my next video.